We are Group 5, and we chose to do our capstone project on the pharmaceutical company Alexion. The group consists of myself, Rachel, Jonathan, Joanna, Sonam, Zachary, and Dimitri. Alexion Pharmaceuticals Inc. was founded in 1992 by Drs. Leonard Bell and Stefan Squinto. Like many startup biotech firms, they did not have an approved drug when it went public in 1996. The reason it went public was to raise money to help it fund its research. Solaris, their first drug, failed in the original trials to treat arthritis, kidney disease, and heart failure. By chance, they researched Solaris as a treatment on paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, or PNH, an atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome, or AHUS. Both are extremely rare, affecting roughly 200,000 people per year. Solaris had remarkable results, and the drug was approved by the FDA in 2007. Since Solaris is classified as an orphan drug, it is bound to different regulations than that of a drug that is not classified as orphan. This is how Alexion is able to charge roughly $400,000 per year for its treatment. Solaris has made Alexion a global leader in the rare disease space. They have since purchased companies such as Anebio Pharma and Signiva, which have added $400 million to its net product sales per year. Alexion has gone on to purchase Wilson Therapeutics and Citimmune in 2018. This shows Alexion's drive to continue to develop its product line. As Alexion prepares for their future, and that is one where the patent has expired on Solaris, they must continue to develop their pipeline. This means that they need to develop their own therapies, continue to purchase potential blockbuster drugs, and partner with other pharmaceutical companies, something that they do not do often. When researching Alexion as an organization, it was clear to see that first and foremost, the company is about its patients. Alexion's mission statement reinforces this, stating that their mission is to serve patients and families affected by rare diseases by delivering innovative, life-changing therapies. Their vision is one that places them at the forefront of global medical breakthroughs, and they seek to be the global leader in rare diseases. Once again, Alexion's commitment to their patient is evident in the values they hold. One of these values is to serve patients. They seek to put patients at the heart of decisions they make, looking to understand their journeys in order to deliver them life-changing therapies. Alexion strives to act with integrity by complying with standards and regulations to maintain the highest quality while doing things the right way. By empowering each other, the organization creates a trusting, valued, and respectful environment for employees. As for many pharmaceutical companies, Alexion also values innovation. Creating a diverse workplace allows them to unlock value via cross-functional collaboration in a wide variety of thoughts, beliefs, and backgrounds. Harnessing new ideas, both internal and external, provides a platform in which experimentation is encouraged and solutions are sought actively. The culture at Alexion embodies those values and places their mission to serve patients first. Each employee is made to feel as though they have a stake in the lives of the patients they are serving, empowering employees at all levels. Alexion understands that many of their patients face a daily struggle, even fighting for their lives, so they want to fight for them. Overcoming challenges by pushing scientific boundaries, working outside of their comfort zones, standing up to adversity, having great responsibility. These are all part of the culture at Alexion in order to truly make a difference in people's lives. Alexion shares an intimate connection with patients, setting them apart from other biopharmaceutical companies. Alexion is a global giant in the world of ultra-rare diseases. Many pharmaceutical companies have large pipelines with a mix of rare and common treatments. Alexion is determined to only treat ultra-rare diseases. Solaris, their first approved drug, treats only a few thousand people per year, but does so with unprecedented effectiveness. This gives Alexion and its patients the ability to collect reimbursements from insurers, especially in notoriously hard places to collect, such as the UK. With the success of Solaris, Alexion has been able to build a $30 billion market cap. They have put their cash to good use by buying up other startups in order to help bring their drugs for ultra-rare diseases to market. Since Solaris is a one-of-a-kind drug and it is so effective, the patients that use it are very dedicated to Alexion, thus having a high rate of customer satisfaction. Alexion has also been very successful in their purchases of new therapeutics. In 2011, Alexion purchased Anebio Pharma, which gave them Strensiq, and in 2015 they purchased Signiva, which gave them Kanuma. These purchases have added approximately $400 million in net product sales to the Alexion balance sheet. Alexion's product portfolio consists of 3 drugs that cater to small niche markets. Solaris will reach patent expiration in 2027, and it accounts for 70% of Alexion's revenue. While they have bought up other companies, none of them really deviate from rare blood disorder realm. In 2017, Alexion was caught in a sales practice scandal. The company was accused of pressuring reps to push expedited Solaris sales. Brazilian authorities also raided Alexion to see if their sales organization employed fraudulent methods to get Solaris covered by the state. Since Alexion has about $1.5 billion in cash and cash equivalents at the end of 2017, it put them in a good position to acquire other companies such as Wilson Therapeutics and Syntimmune. Alexion can continue to purchase or invest in research and development or partner with other pharmaceutical companies. With an investment in research and development, they can see if Solaris has any potential uses or try to create off-label uses. Off-label uses or products having use in something that it is not intended for have been very successful. Some examples of these include Viagra and Listerine. In addition to this, partnering with other drug companies for drugs that can complement their current pipeline or add new disease treatments to it can be beneficial, and it could open new markets to them. Drug failure is a main threat to Alexion. With the new purchases of Wilson Therapeutics and Syntimmune, Alexion is placing bets that their drugs will be approved by the FDA. While both have showed promise in phase 1 and 2 trials, and Syntimmune receiving orphan designation, they mitigated some of that risk. Failure to meet regulation requirements, such as FDA approval, SEC reporting requirements, would result in heavy losses to the company and the future. Alexion operates in many different countries. This exposes them to many different regulatory issues and also many different currencies. With currency fluctuations and volatile politics in certain parts of the world, Alexion must figure out how to hedge their sales in certain areas of the world. Patent and market exclusivity are issues that every drug maker faces. Currently, patents on drugs last 20 years from the time the drug is developed. But by the time a drug reaches market, it will likely have only 10 or 15 years left on that patent. This opens the drug for copycats and generic brands, which put pressure on the companies to reduce costs. Alexion has recently been able to extend the patent protection on Solaris an additional 10 years so that it has protection through 2027. Developing and selecting strategic options. First, Alexion could develop a companion drug to their current product line. Warnings accompanying Solaris cautioning patients against discontinuing anticoagulant therapy while taking it. Alexion could possibly develop its own anticoagulant. Blood clots in major arteries can lead to a number of complications, even death. Upward of 300,000 people die annually due to blood clots. Some 500,000 were hospitalized over a 2-year period ending in 2009 due to blood clots. Second, Alexion could attempt to develop a treatment for a new rare disease, such as the autoimmune disorder that predominantly affects people of Southeast Asia descent. However, time is of the essence. Solaris is Alexion's highest grossing product, and its patent is on the verge of expiration. Is there time to develop a new biologic for a new rare disease? With the time from development to market for a new drug said to be between 12 and 15 years, one can only hope that Alexion has a drug that is in the pipeline to make sure that its cash reserves can withstand a temporary dip in revenue until the new drug made it to market. Still, 12 to 15 years is a long time. But Alexion's acquisition of Wilson Therapeutics and Syntimmune may provide a much-needed time for its product offerings. The problem with this is that many of the drugs coming from Wilson Therapeutics and Syntimmune are not FDA approved yet. If they continue with this acquisition and the drugs do not become FDA approved, then Alexion will have wasted a lot of time, energy, and money for nothing. Third, Alexion should consider a strategic partnership with Alexion Therapeutics, a company using cell therapies to help treat chronic diseases. Alexion has already partnered with Eli Lilly and has stated on their website that they, quote, are interested to explore strategic partnerships that bring incremental expertise, resources, geographic research, and disease area knowledge to our platform, end quote. By partnering with Alexion, it would widen the market that Alexion is currently in, gaining an opportunity to stay on track with what the company wanted to do in the first place, which is treat rare diseases, while also treating diseases in a new way, cell therapy. They would also be able to gain the knowledge that Siglion has acquired, which could possibly help Alexion look into other ways of treating rare diseases, and lose their dependency that they have on Solaris. While this can be a great partnership that can bring Alexion and Siglion both money and good PR, it is not without risk. Partnering with Siglion could possibly cause a loss of autonomy, causing the company to lose its identity and possibly its target market. While there are, of course, negatives and positives to this scenario, the possible treatments, positive impacts, and money that can be generated from a partnership like this may be exactly what Alexion needs to move forward and gain more traction. Some important factors to consider are the customer satisfaction, which are currently the customer satisfaction of Solaris, which is Alexion's most popular drug, is quite high, and many people have stated that it is a miracle drug and the only thing that has worked for them. They also have to make sure that they continue to stay a profitable company and they keep their core mission and value intact throughout the times of change. Key legal regulatory issues impacting Alexion's operations. Now we will shift our focus to some of the legal and regulatory issues impacting Alexion's operations. As a pharmaceutical company, Alexion's activities are governmented by what some would consider the big three: the Food and Drug Administration, most commonly known as the FDA, the United States Patent Office, and the Securities and Exchange Commission, known as the SEC. The FDA is responsible for ensuring that any products that marketed for human consumption are safe for doing so. In doing that, they issue regulations and guidelines regarding manufacturing processes and labeling for a number of products. With respect to drugs, the FDA produces standard guidelines as well as those for rare drugs. Since rare drug manufacturing is at the heart of Alexion's mission, they would want to take special care to note the FDA's guidelines regarding rare drugs. Please note, while adherence to the guidelines is purely discretional, doing so can provide a manufacturer with a playbook for FDA compliance and regulatory approval. They pay special attention to quality of the products produced. There can be no variations. The processes must be reliable, consistent, and arrive at a predictable result. Manufacturers must create labels that assist all consumers in safely consuming a product and any attendant risks in doing so. Failure to adhere to the FDA's compliance matrix creates a public health concern and preludes the marketing of a product. One of Alexion's strengths is that it has already successfully obtained FDA market approval 3 times. In light of Solaris accounting for over 70% of Alexion's revenue, with a patent that is set to expire, expenditures obtainment of FDA approval for any new product is critical. Unless the remaining products in Alexion's portfolio can make up the difference, they will have a bit more time before the competitors close in. They may need to optimize their current FDA approval process for fast-tracking time to market, which can be done by studying the FDA guidelines for rare drugs and tweaking their current processes as needed. Having done this before will go to Alexion's benefit. The United States Patent Office. The United States Patent Office protects inventions of a certain character. They make sure that they are novel, useful, non-obvious inventions. Standard patent spans 5 to 7 years, and more complex inventions, drugs, garner a 12-year patent. When it comes to drug patents, some argue that special consideration should be given to the correlation between its makeup and its therapeutic value. A standard patent warrants 5 to 7 years of protection. A patent for a more complex drug warrants a 12-year patent. Having a lengthy patent is a definite strength. Since Alexion manufactures biologics, which are drugs that are synthesized in parts from living organisms, they have 12-year patents for all their current products. However, the patent for its most profitable product, Solaris, is on the verge of expiration, as previously noted, which would constitute a threat. One can only hope that its competitors are in the early stages of developing their generics. However, Alexion must have an opportunity to undercut the competition by patenting its own generic version of Solaris, perhaps in a more consumer-friendly form. The SEC. The SEC governs the activities of publicly traded companies, which counts Alexion amongst its ranks. Publicly traded companies must advertise truthfully and comply with various periodic reporting requirements. Failure to do so could lead in jail or even sanctions. Given the amount of data required to comply with the reporting requirements, Alexion must take care to ensure that its processes and IT systems allow for the accurate real-time capture of pertinent data and its analysis. All three can be addressed via the creation of a legal regulatory advisory board consisting of a variety of company representatives to assess potential risks, reviewing pending legislation, and plan to address any potential concerns. It is best that Alexion always stays ahead of the curve. We have come up with 4 different strategies that Alexion can use to help the company both organizationally and financially. Strategy 1. In order for Alexion to increase their profitability on an already existing product, they can create a different form of the drug, such as a pill or inhalable form. By doing this, Alexion will be able to open up the market to different patient populations, such as elderly and children. Alexion can also develop a companion drug to their current product line to further increase the targeted patient population. By creating a companion drug, they can not only increase the knowledge of the company and its current medication, but also the amount of people who would use it knowing some of the risk side effects of the drugs would be lowered. This can be measured through a pre-development survey to already existing patients to see if they would be interested. If they see a high demand, then they can have a limited release and see the financial effect. If it is a success, they can continue to produce the product. Strategy 2. Another important strategy for Alexion is to reinvest their money into the company. They can do this by using 45% of their assets and put them into the research and development, advertising, and sales. This can have an overall positive impact on the company because the more money being put into research and development, Alexion can determine if there are any issues with the current products that they are selling. They can also develop new products for different patient populations and diseases. It will allow for more opportunity to grow and a better company name. Customer satisfaction is vital in order for any product company to be successful. In order for Alexion to continue to improve customer satisfaction, they can use the expectations disconfirmation model. In this model, the consumers use pre-consumption expectations in comparison to post-consumption experiences of the product. This will allow Alexion to determine how their product is doing and where improvements need to be made. Lastly, considering a strategic partnership with Siglion Therapeutics would greatly benefit Alexion financially and clinically. With this partnership, Alexion will be able to use more advanced development tools to allow for improving already existing products and developing new ones. In order to do this, Alexion can develop a consortium with Siglion Therapeutics to reduce drug development costs and exchange ideas on standardizing methods of discovery and development. Execution and implementation of the strategic plan. In order for Alexion Pharmaceuticals to move forward with a strategic partnership, it must first obtain buy-in from all executive staff and key internal decision makers. The benefits from the partnerships are bountiful and must be presented accurately in order to obtain high-level buy-in. The current technology that Siglion has developed is an encapsulated cell therapy, a groundbreaking discovery that has the potential to be adapted to a multitude of rare diseases, including rare diseases of the blood, which could complement Solaris, the current main product offered by Alexion. While this type of technology has not yet been developed to assist in the treatment of rare blood disorders, the potential to adapt technology is a clear point of interest for both companies. In addition, Siglion has a track record of strategic partnerships with other pharmaceutical companies, as they have recently partnered with Eli Lilly and Company in order to develop encapsulated cell therapies for the potential treatment of type 1 diabetes. Once the proposal to partner with Siglion is voted on and accepted, a formal executive team will be created in order to oversee the entire process. We will form a cross-functional committee that incorporates members from all necessary departments and levels of management. This strategic partnership committee will include 2 executives within the C-suite, 1 executive or department head from research and development, a lead development scientist, a financial director or executive vice president, and an operations manager. These key members will allow for a diverse set of opinions and viewpoints. In addition to having high-profile members, the Strategic Partnership Committee will encompass various levels of management. This was done intentionally in order to engage full buy-in from all levels of management within Alexion. The Strategic Partnership Committee will be entrusted with setting and tracking performance and goals. These goals will include maintaining effective lines of communication between themselves and Siglion. These will be done through the appointment of a liaison from the operations management staff. This individual will be the contact point for any and all needs or concerns raised by members of the Siglion staff. This person will be dedicated to relaying any pertinent information to key staff members and avoiding any backlog of complaints or unresolved issues. Budget and resource allocation. Due to the relatively small size of Alexion in relation to other pharmaceutical giants, they are unable to match the initial upfront payments that a company like Eli Lilly was able to offer. However, the deal's structure can be altered in a way that will fit the long-term vision of both Alexion and Siglion. As the large upfront costs can be decreased and the royalties from future products can be increased, a proposal of a 60-40 split in the royalties, where 60% would go to Alexion, would provide Siglion with tremendous growth potential. While this would result in decreased profit margins for Alexion, it would effectively decrease the amount of risk they are willing to accept, as they are providing less upfront costs and are paying Siglion only if a successful product is developed. Siglion would benefit from the ability to utilize Alexion's research and development staff, and would be able to globally market their product under the Alexion brand, which is already established as a leader in the rare blood treatment market. In addition to the royalties, Siglion will also receive an equity investment from Alexion. Alexion would leave all development activities and costs related to the collaboration to Siglion, until the submission of an investigational new drug application. Once the IND is submitted, Alexion would be responsible for clinical development and marketing activities. Execution review. Tracking progress and effective productivity measures are an integral part in ensuring strategic goals are being met. The cross-functional Strategic Partnership Committee will be entrusted in setting the tracking performance goals. These goals will include maintaining effective lines of communication between themselves and Siglion. As we touched on earlier, the liaison between Alexion and Siglion will be the contact point for any and all needs or concerns raised by members of the Siglion staff. This person will be dedicated to relaying any pertinent information to the key staff members and avoiding any backlog of complaints or unresolved issues. As Alexion is not expanding any capital during their preclinical phase of drug development, they are not under any extreme time constraints or financial constraints to develop a product. That being said, it is extremely important for Alexion to expand up on its current pipeline, and the establishment of a complementary drug used to treat rare blood disorders could be the exact complement needed to advance Alexion's portfolio into an industry leader. Accountability protocols. Progress reports can be a simple yet extremely effective protocol in maintaining trust and effective partnership between Alexion and Siglion. Monthly reports accessing the progress of their clinical advancements will be mandated in the partnership agreement, allowing Alexion to understand where the process of the drug development, while holding Siglion accountable in terms of acting in the best interests in both of themselves and Alexion. In addition, quarterly meetings will also be mandated in the agreement, where the Strategic Partnership Committee will meet face-to-face with the development staff and executives of Siglion to discuss any advancements and issue progress reports on the current state of the development procedure. Any groundbreaking discoveries will also be relayed to Alexion's liaison, allowing for the early review and eventual creation of an IND. Any unforeseen obstacles or impediments to the development process will be discussed and remedied by the Strategic Partnership Committee, as well as utilizing any input from key decision makers at Siglion. The face-to-face discussions will also establish a person connection between the two companies, fostering an open and trustworthy atmosphere and thus resulting in a healthy and mutually beneficial relationship for the duration of the partnership. The formation of the partnership between the two companies satisfies the future goals of both Alexion and Siglion. As Siglion receives much-needed upfront capital and the possibility for significant royalty revenues, and Alexion is provided an opportunity to expand their pipeline, while undertaking minimal risk in the short term, allowing for two parties to work in unison with the goal of achieving a groundbreaking treatment for rare blood disorders. Alexion must look forward to ensure that they continue to grow as a small but successful business. In order to determine how best to do this, a thorough investigation into the company was completed and concluded that Alexion should prepare for a future without Solaris. Other potential strategies were considered, but ultimately were not suitable for the organization as it exists currently. These alternatives include developing a companion drug and developing another treatment for another rare disease. Developing new drugs takes considerable time, money, and effort, and while Alexion is dedicated to this work, it is not a viable option in order to provide immediate relief to the problems they are likely to face in the near future. Ultimately, the decision to partner with a company that specializes in encapsulated cell technology was the best course of action for both Alexion and Siglion. Not only does Alexion stand to expand its limited pipeline, but it also has the opportunity to dominate the rare blood disease market with 2 complementary products. As for Siglion, they are able to partner with an established pharmaceutical company, as well as expanding their visibility and potentially adding significant revenue streams from any royalties associated with their drug development. The mutually beneficial partnership allows for a tremendous growth potential on both ends, solving the problem of a limited product pipeline on behalf of Alexion and setting both companies up for a successful future in their industries. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the thread and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We appreciate the time you've taken to watch this presentation. Thank you.